went into them and at the other side. And we'd say, well, now, we don't want any trouble when they look like attacking, and we'll do the same to you as we did to the pig, because we've got the guns to do it. You leave our stuff alone, we'll leave your stuff alone. We're just looking for these stones in the creek beds as we go along. That's all we came to look for. In one or two occasions, they got up and said, well, the poor old pig can't dodge like we can. It really took a bit away from the power of the gun.
To kanaka inong, tapos kanaka kibim kai pig, na kibim kai em kupra pasin, inokan yupra inokan trabe no kanaka.
Nami pra kamat?
Yumi peren kupra. Tasar kanaka idak.
Ni pra kamat poli pai ni pra biar
pai. Kama na kanaka kama from pai, supia bonara lukim supia bonara, inokan pai kuik tu, inokan sutem mor. Tasar lukim or sutem supia bonara kam ne pasirong. Sup pasirong no bonara supia pasirong wan para man bro yumi or shooting kirim mem inokanigo shooting quick taso emi tok inokan popai mas shooting through inoka giaman popai mary bi para tabu mary pikinin bi para tabu
inokan ni prasuti we mumbale me kono men ne katagal wo barati me korga nga ya ile tik me kono men ne katagal ya ente oke ya cendri ngor ngajen pange di neji di nama rondo di kurwa bonum neti ngajen rondo di ponce buwa ga ruini ni kurele njo paru mi ya kurele wodi ya jeni kali nagri mon melen daga no ba ida mo ba ba wodi ida on ba me de ke buru me kana wodi meme ruru man meme kana bi ndo ba wara go ro gra gra ni ji ji ni pende kundwa ya kanya makanjara ki ibu gra gra ni dan Makan ni jadi kita nana namanya ini nuo mor punya pita boy ni mana ye ni bende.
Ni kira ye misi tong paraman. Ye misi tong paraman belum pait. Na hal paraman tulu dong wokupat. Emi syuting ino sai popai. Emi syuting man si teret na emi putan kuit masih. Emi syuting wan para mandong kuka, shooting wan para rong suave, shooting wan para rong tortiwara, shooting wan para rong vena, shooting wan para rong wabek, tadi shooting planti. Sampala man planti, I think 9 para emi shooting wrong, tari.
All we did, and I think it was quite right, was to save our lives and the 90 carriers we had with them. Because once my brother and I lost our lives, that would have been definitely the end of all the carriers that we had. They would have been killed out of hand. It would have been a mass slaughter. And as the big chief, he said in his address, when we calmed the interpreter down and he told us the whole story, he said to them, they've got all these wonderful things that we need, axes and knives and shell. Look at the shell, look at the things that they have. They can't fight like we can. All we got to do is to go and just take it off them. Now, when I kill the first one of these white men, when I throw the spear through and spear the white men, you rush in and grab the people, kill them, and this will be all ours. Well, as he went to throw the spear, Mick shot, but as the whole mob rushed, so did all the Bush guns fire. Well, there was only one shot fired, and of course there was a terrific barrage when there was about 15 guns or more went off.
Ba marena bune indi une bet. de ngoi me chianda o bela ga de pa jien ko ma ga ga de bi la kan a ga de ko ma ga de bi la kan a ga de ko ma ga de bi la kan yan du ba bo bi ko ambo ko ba bela ni pi mi bi
mina ya gane ngom
ngoi pi
ti ta ga ngoni pe ba ji yagande uni bi ngoni ambo ni pe ba ji yagande uni bi ngoni nemba ni pe ba ji yagande uni bi ngoni ruire ni agare don inde njongo pe ba ji yagande o ga yi gembo mera yungo o aga mina ya gane ngo piego mundu mera ngoni pe ba ji yagande o uri ya gane ngomba pingiri gi piu
ngoi menda yu gi pi
o yengi tiega pa yu babu gara pa yu pe u nare yo mo ga gi babu
o namba da gi pi.
Well, it was the order of the day, I suppose. The government allowed you to do it. And anybody who got killed or wounded, you had to put a report in and that had to be investigated. It wasn't a matter of going along and killing someone and no investigation made. There had to be a government investigation made behind you. There was no such a thing as you just killing someone and that's the end of it.
The administration's attitude was a lot of the people, they didn't know much about those things. We never reported those things that happened. I mean, there was it was just one of the things that happened on the trip. But that was a rare occasion, and hadn't we been killed on that trip, there would have been. We had about 90 carriers with us, and they were all foreign people to these. Well, they would have been all wiped out too.
For several years, the Lays searched the highland valleys for commercial quantities of gold. They were unsuccessful. They began using aeroplanes on their prospecting expeditions, flying out over unknown country to survey the land before venturing in by foot. It was on one such flight that the Lay brothers first looked down on the Wagi, the biggest valley of them all. Soon after their flight, the Lays walked into this valley, and here at last they discovered gold. They set up their final base camp, surrounded by 250,000 more people whose existence had not even been suspected by the outside world.
There were not so many around the first day, but the next day there was a big crowd arrived. They were all in one long line, and they'd come in with the food and sugar cane and stuff like that, and to show that they were friendly and they wanted to trade with us. But I think they did think that we were something a bit more than ordinary human beings. It wasn't very long before we had more food than we ever could hope to use. And they were bringing more and more. You couldn't stop them because they just went wild after the trade. The beads we had and the shell and the axes. I think out of all the people on our trips, the Hagen people were the easiest and the best of the lot for us to deal with. The big men had come forward and he'd address us. I forget now, I don't think we had no, we didn't. We had no interpreters in. But they used to stand up there and give speeches as though we knew every word that they were saying.